Hi guys, Maikeru here. This is my video about some necromancy tips and tricks. There is some for the early game, mid game, and even late game in this, so we're going to quick fire some tips to hopefully help people. Let's get right into it. Starting off with some ritual tips. The first one is one that isn't really mentioned anywhere, but I've checked the health of all of my glyphs, and as you can see, 2 of my candles are completely dead, and then others are just very, very low on durability. But they're going to break at different times. So to sync it all up, I just open up the settings. I go to skills and experience. I go down to necromancy. And if you scroll to the bottom of that list, there is a bunch of good toggles. The one we're looking for is repair only ritual components with 0 durability. Normally you're always going to want that on, obviously, so you don't waste materials. But just to sync them up, we don't mind wasting a little tiny bit of ink. So we untick that box, we go to the middle at the end of the ritual, right click the pedestal and repair all. This way it has now put the durability of everything all the way full. The only ones it doesn't do this with is alteration glyphs, but typically they are going to break at different times anyway, so it's not too bad. Another thing in the settings here that is really good, right at the bottom of your settings, is ritual output to focus storage. This is also really, really nice because every time you do an event that gives you like a memento or something that can be used to actually get souls from, it will go straight to your ritual focus instead of your ritual storage, which then means you don't have to worry about doing anything and you can kind of somewhat self-sustain yourself with these mementos from those random events and stuff like that, which is really useful. Another little tip is if you right click the well, you can then go ahead and take a look at how many souls you have without having to run over to the well or anything like that. You can just check it and it tells you right above your character, like here. I'm going for 35k on my Iron Man and I have 17k. In addition to this, you can boost to better glyphs. Multiply 3 isn't for at least 10 more levels for my Iron Man, but I can use an overload to boost those levels or a necromancy potion. And then I can repair all of those back up, or obviously build them for the first time. This allows you to use Multiply 3 pretty early. I've been using it since 90 Necromancy, and it helps a lot. Same applies with Multiply 2 at 60. Speaking about Multiply glyphs, if you use all Multiply 3 glyphs, and at 99, you use a Multiply 2 or 3 in your cape, because the cape perk, if you right-click the 99 Necro Cape, you can select a glyph. You can actually get 5 pieces of cloth from your subjugation. As you can see, I've got a greater in soul material ritual right here, and it says I get 5 of the bars from 1 craft. This means that I've got 400% multiply. That's from 6 multiply 3s on the floor and 1 multiply 2 in my cape. This is a really effective thing to do if you are trying to save money with the subjugation being so high. You're only going to need 4 pieces of subjugation instead of 5 by doing this now at 99 instead of doing it at 90 when you don't have the cape, because you're only going to be getting 4 without the cape. So what I'll be doing on my Iron Man is I'm going to be waiting until I'm 99 and then I am going to go ahead and make these and save myself a piece of subjugation. Another huge thing is the Tome of The Tome of helps with Ritual Disturbance XP, which is absolutely huge. Not only does it do that, it helps with Runecrafting, it helps with everything necromancy related pretty much, and it even allows you to pick up ashes and have them automatically banked. This even counts for normal ashes. So especially if you're an Iron Man or a main account that wants to make your own inks, you can just go to the Abyss, pick up a bunch of ashes off of the floor, and they get instantly banked, which is insanely good. You can get the Tome of 2 at 50 Necromancy, and then you do need 400 souls in the Well of Souls to unlock the Conjure Putrid Zombie ability, and then you can do this with all of the bonuses that it provides. Now moving on to some of the endgame stuff, you always want to be conjuring your Conjures outside of combat. That means they don't cost any adren to do so, and they become lossless. So for example, when I kill Raziel, I summon all 3 of the Conjures outside, and then you can take it a step further by empowering them when you get inside. So my typical rotation when I get inside the instance, I just go ahead and use Death Mark and Surge. So then obviously I'm going to apply Death Mark to the boss on my first hit. I empower my ghost and then empower my skeleton. The skeleton is always the last one you want to empower, as he has a time limit to how long he's empowered for, so always do him last. And always do the ghost no matter what you're doing before the boss spawns. The ghost gives you extra damage on literally every single hit, and it is absolutely amazing in terms of a DPS increase. You are going to see your kill times increase so heavily by just conjuring and empowering your ghost before the fight starts. It is absolutely crazy. Another thing that I want to talk about is your rotation for Necromancy. To do a optimal rotation, you don't actually go in instantly using something like Living Death, like you would normally instantly use a Sunshine or a Berserk or something like that. You actually wait to use Living Death. The reason why you do this is because Living Death resets a couple of abilities. It completely resets your Death Skulls, and it also completely resets your Touch of Death. So once you have the Subjugate, which means your Death Skulls are only costing 60% Adren, it becomes by far the most powerful ability in the game. If you use it as soon as the boss spawns, and then you also use a Touch of Death, build to 100% Adren, and then use your Living Death, those Death Skulls and Touch of Death are now instantly reset and able to be used once again. This is going to give you an extra Death Skulls and extra Necrosis stacks for Fingers of Death and everything, and you're utilizing your special attack to its fullest. Don't use it as soon as you enter, make sure you've used those two abilities first so they get reset. Another little thing is if you ever need to desummon your Conjures, there's no button to desummon them, but taking your offhand off does desummon. So the easiest way to take my offhand off with my preset personally is just to equip your offhand Excalibur. Then that takes your lantern off and puts the Excalibur on, they all die, and then you just put your lantern back on and you're good to go. That way you can desummon your minions at any time if you need to, if you want to resummon them for the next fight or whatever. One cool thing with your Essence of Finality for Necromancy is you put the special attack for the tier 70, 80 or 90 in your EOF once you have a tier 95 weapon. The tier 95 weapon obviously has a different special attack to the tier 90, but the tier 90 doesn't have a different special attack to the tier 80 or the tier 70. Those are all the same special attack. So the best thing to do is actually put a tier 70 into your EOF, because it doesn't matter the tier of the weapon you're using, it just takes the special attack and uses your current tier of weapon. So you can save some money by putting a tier 70 in there instead of a tier 90, as it's worth more money. And then lastly, but certainly not least, this tip is the optimal bladed dives and surges for the runecrafting in the city of All you gotta do is run up to where I've clicked here on the map, and then you just go one diagonal northwest. As soon as you're standing there, you surge and you bladed dive towards the stairs. This will do like a V-shaped surge bladed dive, and then you can surge straight up the stairs and you're pretty much at the altar. So then if you put this into action in a quick, non-slowed down version, this is what it looks like, and you get your runs super quick. Obviously a bit of practice is needed to just stand in the right spots, but it is very, very simple once you get it down. It looks difficult, but it's literally just standing in a certain spot, facing a direction, surging, bladed diving, and then surging again. That's it. Easy peasy. This will increase your rune crafting gains in GP and XP every single hour while crafting runes in the city of Hopefully you did enjoy this video. Give it a like if you did enjoy, subscribe if you're new for loads of future content all related to RuneScape 3, and if you made it this far into the video, you're a legend as always, and until next time, see ya.